This is the first time ever that we are going to read some hot takes on the channel before I do the Sonic Generations video. Yeah, this will be probably a mini series I'm gonna do, probably 5 parts, reading some nasty, disgusting hot takes on the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. So yeah, let's get into it. Here's my nuclear hot take. Jason Griffith was ass. He acted like an English student book. All of his characters sounded like they had no personality at all. Also monotone. Sonic Unleashed is a game where Sonic displays literally no trace of being Sonic aside from CGI. I much prefer the new cast over everyone is Jason shit. Now this is what I call a nuclear hot take. Okay, just like many people before me, and just like me, I grew up with Jason Griffith, so of course I'm gonna have some bias towards him. Now here's the thing. No, this is I appreciate the nuclear hot take, but this is like here's the thing. I agree and I disagree at the same time, because I disagree on the part that he does have some very good moments. Whenever he's voicing Shadow, at least in Sonic 06, he's fantastic. Sonic, when it came to Sonic Unleashed and in Sonic and the Black Knight, great stuff. He gave him a lot of personality there. I don't care about Jet and his Werehog voice. It's stupid. I agree there. However, the other part that I actually do agree with this is that in earlier games like Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, and maybe even Sonic and the Secret Rings, depending on how you float your boat. I kind of agree that it's not good there, the voice, but yeah, this is a nuclear hot take that I'm actually very mixed on, because there are moments where he is actually really good, there are moments where he is bad. 10 out of 10 hot take, I like it. We're starting off really strong. Sonic Mania is one of the weaker classic Sonic games. I would pick 2 or 3 over Mania every day. Too easy, too unoriginal. Also, the one joke this fanbase has about Sonic characters being gay is literally never funny. Like, not even once. Okay, there's 2 hot takes. I asked for 1 hot take. But to talk about Sonic Mania, I do agree. I prefer Sonic 3 over Mania. Sonic 3 is my favorite Sonic game to this day, even with Shadow Generations out. To this day, Sonic 3 is my favorite Sonic game of all time, and it is one of my favorite platforming games of all time, 2D platforming at least. But I wouldn't say Sonic Mania is one of the weaker ones. When you look at other games like Sonic 1 or Sonic Superstars, those are one of the weaker classic Sonic games. Mania is nowhere near as bad as those 2 games. And Sonic 2, the thing is with Sonic 2 is that the pacing is beautiful in that game. But Sonic Mania, you say it's too unoriginal. You gotta understand this part though. Sonic Mania is a celebration of Sonic's franchise, at least when it comes to classic Sonic. Of course, it's not gonna be the most original game. It's mostly a celebration, and you gotta consider that Christian Whitehead did not want to add all those classic levels. It just wanted to add the 4 original levels, but they were like, no, the game's too short, you gotta add more levels. And that's pretty much how it happened. That's pretty much how Christian Whitehead added the other levels. I like the other levels, the classic levels. They're really damn good. But saying that it's too unoriginal is also capped, considering the original levels like Studiopolis Zone and Press Garden, all the other 2 ones, you know what I mean? Those original levels are some of the best in the entire franchise, so I feel like this is actually disingenuous. Also, the joke of the fanbase of the characters being gay, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's funny. I do agree that it's overplayed, and sometimes the delivery is not good. Sometimes the jokes are really funny. Depending on how you do the joke of Sanado, it's not really good. But sometimes the Sonic and Shadow being gay for each other and having gay sex, it's honestly really funny sometimes. I don't agree with either of those. Well, I kind of agree with the gay jokes at a certain point. But like Other than that, I don't agree with those takes. But they're good takes. 9 out of 10. I know this isn't really that much of a hot take anymore, but here the thing is, okay, 06 was a fantastic game. It might very well have, has its bugs and its issues, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is probably the best story of any Sonic game ever, and give us some of the most entertaining boss fights we ever had. Buddy, no. The best story on any Sonic game ever? No, that is an egregious thing. The story has so many plot holes. It's really contrived. Every character is an idiot. The villain sucks ass. Mephiles is a terrible villain. Elise is a character that does not grow in the entire story. Nothing. Seriously, the romance is terribly written. Everything about the story is absolutely ass, aside from some moments with Shadow. And that's putting it mildly, because even Shadow's story has some issues. No, 06 is not a fantastic game, even if you want to count Project 06. No, we're not counting that. We're counting base game Sonic 06, and that game is not a fantastic game, and it doesn't have one of the best stories of all time. It actually has one of the worst stories in the entire series, and some of the most entertaining boss fights. No, it has some of the worst boss fights in Sonic history. Silver, Shadow, what else? The giant egg fleet robot thing? No, you lost me here. But I still have a decent take. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Yacker is better than Chip. No. First of all, Yacker doesn't have a personality. Chip may be annoying at times, but at least he has a story, he has a personality, and he can be a little bit funny if you're masochist like me. But he also transforms into a giant Megazord Power Ranger shit. So that's honestly better than whatever Yacker did in the story, because Yacker didn't do anything in the story aside from giving Sonic some boost, and that's it. Yeah, no, that's a bad take. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Sonic Adventure 2 is a great game overall due to other things, but the general level design and gameplay sucks ass. That is Are you complimenting Sonic Adventure 2 or are you insulting it? I don't get it. General level design, dude, the level design, at least for Sonic and Shadow, it has one of the best level design when it comes to speed characters. What are you on about? I can agree at a certain point when it comes to like treasure hunting stages. I don't love Knuckles stages. I don't really like Rouge's stages that much either. And when it comes to Tails mecha stages, I don't like it that much. But Eggman's mecha stages are pretty solid and fun. I don't get it. I don't know if you're insulting the game or if you're complimenting it, but I give it a 5 out of 10 because it's kind of a mediocre take, not gonna lie, because it's still a great game. But what makes it a great game in your opinion? Because like if the level design and the gameplay sucks, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you don't think the game is good, unless you're one of those people who think the Child Garden carries the game. And if that's the case, I don't know what to tell you, but respect, I guess. 5 out of 10. Supersonic kinda sucks now. See, I would agree with this if Sonic Frontiers didn't exist. Because Sonic Frontiers made Supersonic cool again. I don't love Sonic Frontiers. I don't like it as much as many people do. But even then, I got to admit, Supersonic is pretty cool in that game. But yeah, if this was before Frontiers, when games like Sonic Forces made him DLC, I would definitely agree, but post Sonic Frontiers? Nah, I gotta disagree here, bro. Sonic Origins Plus was fine. Maybe a bit overpriced, but it was a port with some extra little stuff sprinkled in. Everyone needs to quit getting angry over the little stuff. Okay, the thing with Sonic Origins Plus is that it barely fixed the things that made Sonic Origins bad. There's still game-breaking glitches. It's still the game still crashes. The little extra games that are there, the Game Gear games, they don't work. They're still really ass, and yeah, the Sonic Origins Plus was not fine. And the fact that it was overpriced, that's what made people hate it more. If the game was priced like, I don't know, $20, I don't think people would complain as much as they did right now. But no, Sonic Origins Plus is not fun. It sucks ass. John Senui makes... Wait. I gotta spell it right. Jun Senuoe. This is so stupid. I'm sorry, John. Makes good classic Sonic music. Buddy, have you heard the classic Sonic music he composed? Hell no, it's terrible. Sonic 4 Episode 1 alone is worse than 95% of music when it comes to this franchise. Hell nah, dude. That's an ass take, but I gotta respect it. 7 out of 10 because damn, that's damn. Sega got scared by Knuckles' chaotic sales and still refuses to do non-Sonic centric Sonic game, which they absolutely should make. I don't know if you heard this, but there's this new game called Sonic X Shadow Generations, and it has a campaign, which is basically a game with Shadow, which is actually longer than Sonic Generations, and you might actually think this is crazy, but it is one of the best Sonic games of all time. It's crazy to think that. I would never consider that a new Sonic game would be considered one of the best in the entire franchise, but here we are. This is a take I do not agree with, but I see your point, because Knuckles Chaotix was really like... I think Knuckles Chaotix is a fine game. It's such a shame, though, that the game did not sell well. Because if it did sell well, man, we would have a different story when it comes to this franchise. We will have a lot... We will have games for other Sonic characters. Games focus on Amy, Silver, Blaze, all those characters. And I think it would be kind of cool, except for the Silver game. But imagine if we had a big game! That would be peak! Silver is only hated because of the game he came from. He's also, arguably, the best written character in the franchise. That's a good joke, Dog Ninja /YT. I do agree at the fact that Silver is only hated because of the game he came from, but it's also the fact that he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot, and man, if you played his story, you would know Silver is one of the dumbest characters in the entire franchise, dude. Oh, but he's desperate to save his timeline. So, would you trust a man with no mouth that looks like Satan himself, that's called Mephistopheles, to help you change the world? Hell, if he can time travel at will, why don't you ask him? Why don't you question him? Why hasn't he gone back in time to save the timeline? I would be asking so many questions if I was Silver. The many red flags that Mephistopheles has, holy crap, something fell. But the many red flags that Mephistopheles has, I would be asking so many questions, and Silver does nothing. Does not do any of that. I can't wait to make a video on Sonic 06. I really cannot wait, because I would trash on Silver so hard that many people would hate me for it. No, Silver is not one of the best written characters. It's not the best written character in the franchise. There's so many characters you can make that argument from, but Silver is not one of them. Yeah, this is a bad take. Shadow 05 is better than Sonic Heroes. Now here's the thing, I don't like either game. So I really don't care what people think. But, oh crap, the electricity went off. That's epic. But yeah, Shadow 05 been better than Sonic Heroes. I don't know. Sonic Heroes has a lot of problems when it comes to the game and its pacing. But I wouldn't consider Shadow to be the better game of the two. Shadow is actually one of the worst Sonic games ever. I don't know, man, but like, it has some things that Sonic Heroes doesn't have, but Sonic Heroes has things that Shadow also doesn't have. I think the game... Actually, I wouldn't even call Shadow the Hedgehog one of the worst Sonic games ever. It controls like ass, just like Sonic Heroes. I feel like if I had to talk about both games, I had to do a video comparing them both, because I'm very mixed here. I don't know which game is actually worse, so I'll take your word for it. I just have to play the games back to back, which I will not do because I appreciate my life. Sonic Frontiers isn't as great as everyone says it is. It's only good at best. Yes! I 100% agree with this take. I don't know why people think Sonic Frontiers is one of the best Sonic games of all time. I mean, if you really think about it, if you're talking sales-wise, fine. And it kind of saved the franchise, and I'm appreciated for Sonic Frontiers. For that reason alone, I appreciate Sonic Frontiers existing because it's kind of saved the franchise. But as a game, that game is so boring. It's so tedious. It's so buggy. It's so... Whoa, look, the electricity came back on. It's so meh. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the most mediocre Sonic games there is. Sure, the music is nice, the aesthetics are fine. I kind of like Sage. Okay, I like Sage. The bosses are also fine. They look cool, but they're not cool when it comes to gameplay. Yeah, I agree with this take, actually. I agree with it. 6 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10. I agree with the take. The reaction to Elise kissing Sonic in 06 was overblown. A Beauty and the Beast type plot is tame compared to the thousands of other issues the game suffer from. It was just the easiest to make fun of. It's what people criticize the most. Okay, I agree that there's more issues to Sonic 06, not only gameplay but story than just this. But the kiss was okay, but the kiss was just the culmination of everything wrong with the story of the game. Sure, the story has a lot of plot holes. It sucks ass. The story is terrible, but you gotta admit that at least kissing Sonic was also terrible here. I don't mind when it comes to romance, when it comes to these types of thing, when anthropomorphic animals and humans are, you know, in a relationship or whatever. I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you know, Jessica Rabbit, Roger Rabbit, those two are peak. But yeah, this romance through the beginning, it was super bad, and it really clashed with the art style, because you have Elise, whose character design is closer to a real girl Final Fantasy shit, and then you have goofy ass Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you clash it together. It's not a good look. And then aside from that, the romance itself, it played itself way too seriously. Like, it tried to be a romance story, and it just falls flat on its face, and it's really bad. I do agree it was overblown, and it's a overused joke in the Sonic community, and everybody else that makes fun of the Sonic franchise. Actually, whenever someone is making fun of the franchise, they usually say, "Remember when Sonic kissed a girl? What was that about?" Yeah, that's stupid. I don't like that joke either. It's honestly, yeah. But it's not even that. It's the fact that, I need to add this. It's not even the fact that a girl kissed a animal. It kissed a dead animal. So it's not really zoophilia. It's more necrophilia, which is actually worse when it comes to this context. Things like you might say, it's just a trope. That trope sucks, okay? It's a terrible trope. But yeah, the reaction was a bit overblown, but it's still a terrible moment, filled with terrible moments in Sonic 06. Wow, it's pretty windy. I'm gonna read 2 more hot takes. Infinite was a genuinely good and effective character. The plot of his debut game was just dog shit. The second part isn't a hot take, it's just the source of any flaws he had. If Infinite was brought back for IDW, he'd be a goated character. If Infinite appears in Shadow Generations, he's gonna be fucking awesome. The only thing wrong with him is his cringe backstory, which could be retconned in a Ruby Delusion. Oh buddy. Okay, here's the thing. Was a genuinely good and effective character? He was an effective character. He wasn't a good character for reasons that you already mentioned, and is that the plot for his debut game sucked, and his backstory was terrible, and a lot of things, and the way he dies at the end. All of those things are what makes Infinite a terrible character. And, you know, Infinite had the potential to be one of the best characters in the franchise. He had a kick-ass theme song. He had an amazing voice. Infinite had things that could have been great, but the game itself, it did not do him any favors. Now, if he was brought back for IDW, I trust Ian Flynn to write him decently in IDW. He could be good, actually. So yeah, he could appear. If he appeared in IDW, I'm all game for it. IDW desperately needs something memorable for this comic, because the comic is actually kind of dying. It's honestly sad. The IDW comics started pretty decent, but then it just got worse as time went on. So yeah, if Infinite came for IDW, I'm down for it, because they desperately need something. If he appears in Shadow Generations, I play Shadow Generations. I'm 10 hours into the game. I 100% completed the game. I'm doing a review for Shadow Generations, actually. Spoilers for Shadow Generations. Infinite doesn't appear in the game. Yeah, he's not much of a he's not that much of a bum. So sorry to disappoint you, Infinite fans, but he's not in the video. And the last hot take: I don't understand the hate for the Time Eater boss. I personally found it kind of enjoyable. Yeah, I'll tell you why the hate for the Time Eater boss happened. It's annoying and it's boring. It's annoying and boring. How do you do that? You mostly press the boost button so you can attack him. But then when you're just so close on finally hitting him, you get pushed back, and that is super annoying. And it doesn't help that your friends just don't shut up most of the time. They always go, "Be careful, Mr. Sonic! That looks like a homing shot! That looks like a homing shot, Sonic!" It's so annoying. And they don't shut up. Plus the music, the final boss music, it's super forgettable. Usually when it comes to final bosses in Sonic, the music for the final bosses are top tier shit. This wasn't the case. It was so bad. But yeah, I think, yeah, I hope I give you some light on why the Time Eater boss fight sucks. I genuinely believe that the 3DS version of the Time Eater is actually better. Not by much, but it is better. No, would you look at that? I have time for one more hot take. Now let's see what the hot take is. The final hot take that will make it to this video. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be cool. I can't think of any take, but I think Sabak is hot. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, that's the end of the video. That's how you wanted to end things. You think Sabak is hot. Yeah, that's how you end a video. That's epic. I love the Sonic franchise. I love Sonic fandom.